re-recording the Royal Palace Guide in Seoul. So we're gonna go do this as a comprehensive guide, just so you are aware of what you need to do. The first step you will need is 7 CP, which is the little horn tower symbol up top. You need at least 7 free. And you want to at least buy Yuko Street 2 to get 6 workers, well 7 with the free one, and at least get this storage to try to maximize your storage. You do want the 8th one to also get this one, just to give you a little bit more space. Then your first friend is actually in this little house right here. Your first stop, because without workers you can't work. You then go to this work supervisor right here, and you want to contract a worker. Maybe you can find one on the exchange. And you will view continuously and at least professional enough if you want to keep it easy. And you're just going to let this cycle through. You're looking for professional dokubis and shellfolk. Either one of those are great. You want dokubis for the processing and turtles for the collection. Well, shellfolk for the collection. If you do not get a shellfolk and you only get a human the entire time, take the human to start off and then just rotate them out eventually. That is very much possible. The humans do have high luck and relatively good work speed, but it's just not the same as a Dokubi, and vice versa. The turtle gets a 68.4% extra item, so they gain way more items. If you don't happen to get any, you can always cancel this while it's processing and then just continue on. In my case, I'm just going to close it because I'm not getting one, and I still need some energy later. Second step is we're going to go under hit escape and the life tab, and there you have the Royal Workshops. This will open this page and it will say in the center, do you want to unlock the Royal Workshops for 5 CP? That is your first step that you will be doing. Once it's unlocked, all of these will be non-processing. Once you have a worker, you can then place the worker inside, let's say, the infirmary on the side, and place them in the first Royal Workshop goods list. In my case, I upgraded the leftward office first, so we'll see about the upgrades. You will get these sort of coins. These are called Morning's Gratitude Token, and these will accrue as your worker is working, and you use them to expand. Which we're actually going to do right now because I want to expand this one to the next Ministry of Works. Easiest way to find who to talk to is just press the little button up here. It will give you an auto path to the person you need to go to. We're just going to quickly run it because it's just around the corner. Well, running dash. And he will have a quest for us. There he is, Kim Bunki. Royal Workshop unlocked the leftward office 2. So he'll talk about how your tales are echoing. Thank you for the gratitude tokens. You then give him the tokens. And once this is done, you get your unlock. Now we have on the leftward office 3 of these unlocked. These can be different each day. So right now I have the rough red crystal. I don't really want those because I can technically buy them. So I'm just going to change the workshop. Okay, here it's mud. That's great. And here are the items that most of you are interested in, the buffs. So we're just going to change workshop again. Okay, we got clay. You can change the selected good on one workshop once per day for free. Now, we can see here the tricolor namul and assorted kimchi, which is the things down here, do have a very low chance with 0.6 and 0.4 respectively. So it is a 1% chance to get it. I would personally not refresh and rather keep these guys working and finish more shops because, as you can see down here, you have another 0.6 here and another 0.6 here, and changing the workshop is free. And all of these will change at midnight. So tomorrow, I mean right now this is at mud, this could be anything else according to this probability. So any one of these. Same thing for this one, it will keep the rough red crystal. But to be honest, I would like clay more than anything. But I'm going to try to change once. Okay, I got the quartz sand. So this worker as you can see, has also continued working. Once this production ends, he will just immediately switch to quartz sand and he'll be producing quartz sand. So that's the main idea of it. As you get these materials, you can process them up into these trade items. These trade items are in pretty much like a fish, in the regard that you do not that you can go through Magnus, but they act like trade items in the sense of tag characters can trade them into a trade manager. You most likely can't even get them in and out of storage. I wouldn't want to try it because it's a trade item. And secondly, you cannot transport them through Magnus, so you will physically have to pick these up and move them somewhere else to get them from A to B. Also, they act like trade items that the nodes that you trade between do need to be connected. The cheapest CP available for 150% distance for Sol itself would be down to Altanova. That is the furthest, sorry, Altanova up here. That is the closest thing, well, the one that is furthest away for 150% that will most likely cost you the least amount of CP. You can go all the way to Valencia or even Araza if you want to try to maximize the trade XP gained, but it is not a requirement. This is just a bonus distance beyond the 150. It will still give you trade XP, but it won't give you more money for the item. As you can see, I've already made a few different varieties of trade items. And you can see with the value pack, the storage is at 53. I pretty much checked it out. If you take only the locally produced items and exclude anything that is sellable on Central Market, which is, let's open this up, as an example, on the left product office, cotton yarn, rough red crystal, the powders, the other crystals. These are all items that you can technically buy on the market and place into the storage to be used. These items, how to obtain, where it says how to obtain Royal Workshop production nodes, these are unique to this location. They do not have, well, they have a value, but you cannot really do much with them, except for use them in this workshop system. Counting only these workshop items, we're looking at 14 unique items spread throughout the entire Royal Workshops. 18 are externally available, so they're available here and externally. And then you have 11 artisanal items, which come up later, like here, the artisanal Hanji. Now, what we know so far, stuff is still being unlocked. Artisanal is always used in these special production, which are delivered to the luxury vendor in Seoul. He sits right outside here and is right there in the corner. Actually, he should be right here. I'm still in Seoul, aren't I? Yeah. There he is. That's the luxury vendor. We do not know the pricing, really. It really just says right now that it's worth a certain amount. Oh, no, it doesn't even say the amount. So we don't know what we get for this at this time. You just deliver it to the luxury vendor. Curious to see what's going to happen and how much this is worthwhile. The chance for getting the artisanal items is pretty low, though. I mean, it is also 1% to get an artisanal Hanji, which would then be used in a 1-to-1 in these artisanal items in each production node. On top of that, there are some nodes available where you can process wholly internally. So here we can see clay, mud, quartz sand in the glamorous pattern blue underglaze, which means you do not need to get anything from external. This one, for example, you would need to get the silk thread from externally or from a local production node. But in the end, if you're running low on silk thread, you could technically buy this off Central Market, inject it. But these you can only gather here. So this would be your choke point on your production of the Hangwei poetry or other items. This one needs extra rice, which can also be produced locally. But most of the time you would just inject this externally to make the makakoli. In the end, you can have 4 workers on the production nodes, which I would advise. to have these permanently running, especially if you're only interested in these buffs at the end. These will get you your coins, and these will also allow you to upgrade these. Later on, you can then start upgrading these to start unlocking more options. For example, in this one, I'm missing the worker, and two, I don't really have a good option to produce right now. Because I'm running out of powder of time. I don't want to inject a worker just to do that. So that is overall the entire system that is wholly internal. Now, like I mentioned, we have 14 unique slots, 18 produced extra, 11 artisanal, and then 5 others, which are like dew-kissed rice, dew-kissed green plum. So that means in total we are looking at 48 slots if you do not produce anything. Now, sadly, 37 slots without a value pack is the current maximum in this town without buying pearls. Unless you tune down the amount of workers, which means you get another 8. Okay, that would be 45. You'd still be overrunning by 5. 37 slots, however, is if you do not produce a single artisanal item. So you might need to invest into a single pearl item if you really want to just have these production nodes, and only the production nodes, chugging away constantly and recycling every 24 hours, and just having these things produce just items you want to dump on the central market. Which I don't think would be a bad idea. Avoiding the production step and the hassle or the work for trade managing, this will increase your money gained, but it is an extra step. It needs the extra space. For example, in my case, I will actually be taking these trade items occasionally and moving them a little bit south already into this extra storage that has a bit more space, and I can also expand a bit more freely. That is pretty much the one note. If you avoid artisanal and other items, it is only 32 slots. So, like the dew-kissed ginseng, well-tanned deer fur, well-tanned cowhide, and green plum and rice. If you avoid those, plus all the artisanals, and just constantly take those out of storage whenever they pop up, you will be sitting at 32 items total being produced by these nodes, plus, sadly, 3 trace bags, like the workers' bags. If you take those, that puts it at 35, giving you 2 slots leeway, which might be worthwhile in the end to keep this running without any interference. At that point, you will be collecting a bunch of these alloy ingots. Currently, you can only sell them to an NPC for the low price stated, but if you really don't want to do the trade aspect, you can very much do so. And overall, if there's anything that comes up over time that we notice concerning the workshops, I'll keep an updated, I will make an update with a part 2. And that should cover everything when we notice it. For example, if we notice that the prices of these luxury items to the lovely luxury vendor, let's run to him one more time. This is the luxury vendor. The prices here are absolutely amazing. I mean, they look pretty good. 98 mil. Not a bad deal. At that point, it might be worthwhile to deliver the artisanal stuff to make them. I mean, in the end, you'll probably only get a few of the artisanal items if you do get them, and then you can just exchange them here for roughly 100 mil silver. And in that case, I want to say thank you for your attention. I hope it helped. I know there will probably be more questions coming up, but overall, that should cover almost everything.